A common talk and theme around the Chicago Bulls offseason is would they accept the deal from the Orlando Magic for the 16th overall pick, a package including that for Coby White? Well, we now have our answers. The Orlando Magic have apparently moved on to different sites as they have traded for Desmond Bane. We're going to talk about it all and more right after this.
You are now tuned in to Chicago Bulls Central, hosted by Haize, your number one spot for all things Chicago Bulls.
What's going on, Bulls fans? Welcome to another episode of Chicago Bulls Central, your number one spot for everything Chicago Bulls related. I'm the host there, Haize, but more importantly, you guys can follow the channel at Bulls Central Pod on every social media platform we happen to be on. With that said, let's go ahead and get into this content today, y'all. And I did not expect to talk about this on Father's Day. The Orlando Magic have traded for Desmond Bane, and they traded 4 unprotected first-round picks and a pick swap to get Desmond Bane in exchange for KCP, Cole Anthony, and all those picks that we mentioned. Now, this is what it comes down to. Desmond Bane is now the player that the Orlando Magic are looking to add that offensive punch and fire power to their team. Look at over the last 3 seasons, Desmond Bane averages over 20 points per game over the last season. Not a little over 19, almost right at 20 last season, but almost three straight years of 20 points per game. And Desmond Bane is no slouch defensively. He's not amazing defensively, but he's not a slouch defensively at all. So this makes a lot of sense for the Magic. Now, what they gave up to get Desmond Bane is crazy. 4 unprotected firsts to get Desmond Bane. They better be absolutely sure that this is going to work. Now, what this does do is it basically gets them a player that's been an all-star without really giving up a huge part of their current core. And keep in mind, if this works out, that Orlando Magic, those picks are going to be all picks 20, 25, maybe even lower if the Orlando Magic keep, excelling and growing as a team. So it's a calculated risk by the Orlando Magic. They're hoping that those picks aren't going to be great. But like they did with last season, if you have another season riddled with injuries, those picks can easily turn into something better. The benefit of this as well for the Memphis Grizzlies are the Grizzlies had all their own first-round picks. Now they're going to have multiple first-round picks in basically every draft for the next 4 or 5 years. The benefit of that also for the Memphis Grizzlies is that Cole Anthony's contract's basically a 1-year deal. KCP has a player option after the end of the 2025-26 season, and so it could allow them to be players on the market. If you got multiple first-round picks, we know that you can make a trade, pivot for a player, things like that. So it gains the Memphis Grizzlies some benefit without being near the second tax apron, some flexibility in that. So I do think it's a calculated risk for the Magic, and it makes sense for the Memphis Grizzlies. But what does this mean for Coby White? The Magic have been mentioned as the team most likely or most aggressive after Coby White with hoping to get that 16th overall pick. They end up sending out a lot more picks, to get Desmond Bane, who, look at Desmond Bane for who he is. He's a solid enough player, right? But now, does that mean that Coby White is safe with the Chicago Bulls? Now, that is the question that we have here, is that those picks, Coby White being here with the Chicago Bulls, it's always been kind of more so of the Bulls may look to move on. The money's probably the biggest motivator when it comes down to things like that. So I wouldn't be surprised with all the movement that's expected to happen over the NBA over the next few couple weeks if that still happens. I wouldn't be surprised if it still happens. I'm not going to say it's going to happen for sure, but I would not be surprised if it still ends up happening to where maybe they get something back for Coby White, something like that. But we shall see. We shall see. Let's see. We got a comment here that I wanted to get into. They aren't all Magic's picks. The only other pick that the Orlando Magic had was the Denver Nuggets pick, and I believe that's next year. So most of those are still the Orlando Magic picks, and even the Denver Nugget picks, if I'm not mistaken, were pick swaps. So it's still basically all the Orlando Magic's picks. But with that said, Coby wasn't going to get that back. It is what it is. We can talk about shitty or whatever it comes down to it, but Coby wasn't going to get that back for the Bulls. And I wonder if the Orlando Magic were really focused on getting a deal done before the draft, whereas maybe the Bulls wanted to see how the draft board was going to fall before they made a determination on that type of move. Maybe. right? Again, that's just speculation for me when it comes down to it, but I don't think you can say anything's 100% sure as far as safety, but the Magic were the team that we've heard has the most interest in Coby White. Doesn't mean that other teams aren't in there, aren't interested when it comes down to it, but we shall see what happens when it goes with that. I think that this does set a market for shooting guards that can average over 20 points per game. You look, if you're getting 4 unprotected firsts for Desmond Bane, it's always kind of the first deal that kind of sets the market in the league. Now I wonder what this means for even the trade market of like a KD, of something like that. Like, that's a pretty big one when you come down to it, as far as that market. Now, I'm not saying that the Bulls are going to get that back for Coby White if they were to still look to move him. They could have if they didn't change his role every single year. But I do think that this maybe points towards Coby White probably staying with the Bulls at least through the trade deadline, maybe longer than that. I hope that he just stays here overall, but that's a lot of draft capital to give up for a Desmond Bane. So, we'll see what the future does hold for that. But overall, like, listen, this one from Matt. Great point here. Bane getting more than what they got for Luka is crazy. It's crazy. Kareem says, yes, we're keeping both guards. I don't know why people think we can't. See, can't and don't want to are different things. The Bulls can keep Giddey, Coby, and Ayo. They have the cap flexibility to do so with the first round picks. They have more than enough cap space to do that if they want to do it. I don't think for some people, I do think they ask if they can because they don't really understand for once in our lifetime, the Bulls aren't right up against the luxury tax at all. But will they? And do they feel like that's the right investment of the money? That is the bigger question here, right? That's the bigger question. We got FSN Clutch in the building. What's going on, fam? Glad to have you in here. Bro, what the fuck? We should just took the 2 first. Never mind. I'm not surprised. See, I get what you're saying in that, but listen, you're not going to get that type of deal. But who's to say it could be the Magic that we're waiting to see what else they can get? I mean, if they figured out that they could get Desmond Bane in this situation as well, which it's kind of always been a talk that the Memphis Grizzlies could look to do something with their money as JJJ is up for a contract extension at the end of next year. We're seeing the age where teams are not going to have 2 or 3 players all making over $30 million. I just don't think that in the second tax apron era, you're going to see that a whole lot. And I think this is one of those signs. It's a casualty of that, in my personal opinion. But, we'll see how it goes. Football student says, do you think that with the Bane deal done, that the Bulls could get a similar deal done? Obviously not 4 unprotected firsts plus 2 players for him, but maybe 2 unprotected firsts and a role player. I mean, maybe it depends on how much a team views the ceiling of Coby White and how they view the last 2 seasons that Coby White has had that he's been really good at, right? So we'll see. Why would you trade with that whole division rival shit is stupid. Like, it's not about, like, you make a trade if you feel like it makes you a better team. You don't worry about what team he's going to. You make a trade if you feel like that's going to make you the better team. That's just it. Like, it is what it is. And we're not in the same division. We're in the same conference, not the same division. We're not even close to being division rivals. (2006) first-round picks from Phoenix. Is it? It doesn't show that they have that, but maybe Spotrac is already updated. Well, good. From Phoenix's, that's even better. That's even more enticing, really, when it comes down to it, because those Phoenix picks are going to be basura. That's what that's going to be. So, hey, listen, if that's good, that Phoenix pick, that's a really good pick to get involved in that, I think. So we shall see. We shall see what's going to continue to happen. But, hey, teams are moving. This is the first big trade of the offseason. A lot of people, myself included, thought that Kevin Durant could be that first big trade in the offseason, and now it's looking like it's going to be something else. So, hold on, y'all. Give me 1 second. What happened here? All right, bet. But, yeah, so now that it's going to be a different move, it's going to be the first move made. I mean, well, it's locked in now. Now we got to see what that does for the market. Is it confirmed Coby will be gone or keeping him and Giddey can still happen? Yeah, no, it's not confirmed Coby's gone at all. Like, if anything, it's more speculative than anything. I do think that a lot of the talk around, like, if we keep in mind, the Bulls have always listened to offers. They haven't necessarily been shopping Coby, even from what we've heard, right? So I don't think that it's all of a sudden like the Bulls have just been, that the Bulls are trying to just move Coby by any means necessary. I don't think that that's the case, but, I think overall, we'll just see. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. I hope that Coby ends up staying here. That's my hope, is that Coby stays here. He's a player that's drafted here. I know people try to make Coby out and to blame for X, Y, Z. I'm not really worried about any of that. I think this, if it was the 16th overall pick, right, and that was what was commonly talked about. If it was the 16th overall pick, I don't know if who you get at 16 is going to be better than Coby. Now, you don't have to pay that player, which that's why I think a lot of the Coby trade talk has been motivated by money, and I understand that a little bit, but I just don't see a Coby trade automatically meaning some upgrade for the Chicago Bulls. But again, maybe that's just me missing it on paper, which it could clearly be something that we all don't see, right? Somebody in Orlando was smoking that ooh-wee last night. No, I think Desmond Bane does. Like, keep in mind, it's the 4 first-round picks that, of course, brings some question. But Desmond Bane in Orlando works. It works really good for what that team needs. Keep in mind, they don't need a superstar. They don't even need a star-level player. They need a damn good player that can come in and put up some points. That team defensively is one of the best defensive teams in the NBA. They needed an offensive firepower. They needed a shooter. Desmond Bane is a career 41% three-point shooter. And yeah, so I really like that trade. The first round picks is where you start getting into it being a little questionable, right? Only thing is Magic is looking to be in the top 5, so those picks should be 20 to 30 range. So I understand why they trade away for exactly. And that's what I said too. Now, one season of them having another injury-riddled season like they did last year, and those picks can get worse, but it is what it is. Damn, Haize working on his Spanish, bro. Invited the next carne asada. Hey, listen, I love me some carne asada. Polo asada too. Like, listen, if you want me to come to your cookout and you tell me there's some carne asada there, I'm there. If you tell me there's queso with chorizo in it, I'm in that motherfucker. Period. So it is what it is. Our starting 5 should be Coby, Giddey, Modest, CNB. No, CNB, fuck CNB. Like that you smoking that dope. Yeah, not gonna lie, we cooked if we don't make a trade to get better. No, I don't think we're cooked at all. I don't. And first off, the East is gonna be a little bit weaker. Secondly, I don't think we're cooked. Like, I mean, we're not gonna be worse than last season. Modest Bucelis is probably gonna take a step up. We're not cooked at all. Second tier all-star for 4 first round. Yeah, but you got to keep in mind, MC, those first round picks are going to be very, very low first round picks. You're talking about 2025, maybe even next year, maybe even worse than that. So I'm not too worried about the picks if I'm them, but we'll see. I just hopped in. How does this really affect Coby's trade value? Won't this make it more valuable from 1 first to 2? Could very well be. Now, I say this. I think Desmond Bane has a more positive general outlook in the NBA than Coby White does. I think Desmond Bane also, as much as people like to paint Coby White as this like crazy 3-point shooter, Desmond Bane's a better 3-point shooter than that, and that's what the Orlando Magic need. He's more of a catch and shoot 3-point shooter. He's more of a better spot up catching a spot up 3-point shooter than Coby. So I don't know how much it changes Coby White's value, but I tell you what, if I'm the Bulls and I see this move, if you're calling me on Coby White, you're gonna have to talk me down off 2 unprotected first. Like, that's where we're gonna start off, like 2 unprotected. What we got? What you got for me? But again, like I said, I'd rather them keep them. So. This trade kind of sends an indication that if he was moved, Coby's value isn't as high as the Bulls fans. Oh, I've been saying that for weeks at this point. I think Bulls fans have a thought on what Coby White's value is that's just not reality. I think that's a huge part of this. I think people think Coby White's value is a lot higher than what it is. I wouldn't mind going for a wing if we go out and trade for Mark Williams. Where do y'all be getting this? Like, y'all be... I wouldn't mind doing this if there's been no indication that the Bulls are trading for Mark Williams. None. Seeing how Vooch is still productive, especially for a veteran team, y'all think you're not getting 2 first round picks for Vooch. I can tell you that right now. You're definitely not getting 2 firsts for Vooch. Too bad defensively. At this point in his age, you're looking at him potentially being on a decline, and he's a expiring contract. You're not getting 2 firsts. There's still a market for Coby outside of Orlando, right? Golden State. I don't think Golden State has any interest in Coby White. Why would they need a guard? I don't think they really have any use for guards there where they stand right now, personally. And even then, like Golden State Warriors, you want I don't think they have a first that they can offer until 2030. You want a 2030 pick for Coby White? No, even if they are calling, come on, what are we doing here? What are we doing here? Both Indiana and OKC have had their offense stall a few times during these finals. One or both may consider trading for Coby to add an offensive power. I can tell you that right now, neither one of them are. OKC, even if they did want to look for offensive firepower, they're going to aim a lot higher than Coby White. Indiana still has Ben Mathurin, who's a very young player on that team that's still looking to grow and develop, that I don't think they're going to want anybody to get in the way of that development. And then Coby and Tyrese Maxey, I don't see that really working a lot. As Tyrese Maxey he's more versatile offensively than Josh Giddey for sure, but he's still very balled out. I don't know where you just cook that up at. It's like you try to create a reason why they'd be interested in Coby, even if I do think one of the two of those teams are going to look to do something, but I doubt either one pivots to Coby. He makes a lot of sense for them in either spot. You're still not getting shit for Vooch. Actually, no. No, you know what you get for him. No, you're going to get something for Vooch. See, that's the thing. And this is where the downside is. Vooch is still one of the most productive offensive centers in the league. And for a team that has a defensive 4 and maybe even a defensive 5 that can be a backup and play with Vooch is going to have some value. You're getting something back for Vooch. They're going to be a team that's interested in Vooch. Now, I'm not saying that you're going to get an amazing pick back, but you're going to get something for Vooch. You're going to get something for Vooch. If we really take Ngor, who the fuck is Ngor? What is this? In the draft, where do we go from there? I have no idea. If we get Igor, bro, I saw it just because you saw it in the rumor mill. What's the source? There's a lot of dumbass writers out there that write shit that don't have a chance to, and that's why, like, in doing this show, like, I've learned like where to pay attention to stuff at. In my personal opinion. I've come to terms with that. Listen, we're running it back for a while. I keep telling y'all that. This is probably the most likely thing is the Bulls don't make a significant change. Maybe they move Vooch. They probably draft number 12, and they keep most of the things the same after that. I keep telling y'all that is the most likely scenario for the Chicago Bulls this offseason. I get why people want more, but it's unlikely to happen, y'all. It's unlikely to happen. The Memphis offense strategy was get all their guys on the court to the three-point line with 3 seconds of grabbing the defensive rebound. Some players like Ja question the move like, oh, I agree with you. And their offense had some big questions and big holes and stall moments last year, but, we'll see what they do next year. I think the Bulls' young core so far is underrated. With that being said, I think this is one – what happened here? I think this is one of those summers we shouldn't look to make a major shakeup other than Vooch or Lonzo trade. And I do think that's probably most likely what's going to happen there. Haize, my favorite Bulls podcaster by mom, but man, I can't understand his bad. It's not bad CMB takes. See, it's only bad if you have I judge everything based off. It's not a bad CMB is not going to be an offensive firepower weapon, and it's not worth it at 12. You don't draft a player that's projected to be a one-way player in the NBA at number 12. You just don't do that. He doesn't have a true position. He's not a 3. His best position may end up being 5. That's not bad takes. That's literally why he's falling. I hate when y'all try to paint something as bad takes because it doesn't vibe with your inability to objectively look at something because you like a player. I like CMB, and I think he's going to have defensive player of the year potential in the NBA. But if you think that he's falling, like, keep in mind, he went from being a top 6 pick to some people having him projected to go 18th. You think that's a bad CMB take? No, that's everybody else being aware, but you're caught up in the hype of a player that is going to have a very difficult time offensively scoring at the NBA level. It just is, period, what it is, what it comes down to it. You can say it's a bad take, but watch. Come back at this time next year and let's talk about the offense and how CMB struggled offensively at the next level. Let's talk about that. Why did the Grizzlies do this? Are they trying to use their picks for more upgrades? I think they avoid the second tax apron. This makes it more likely now that they keep Jaren Jackson Jr. I think that's motivated. And now you have multiple picks in every draft, which you can use to move something down the road. Not this offseason, but the following offseason, they're going to be in a similar position to the Bulls to where they'll have like $40 million in expiring contracts. You pair that with multiple firsts, that can get you in on a move. That can definitely get you in on a move. Yeah, but you have to look at how he's. See, this is why people. This is the difference from people who watch basketball and people who process basketball. CMB was able. He's not a great scorer. He's first of all, you have a 30% usage rate and score 16 points. That's not a great score. He's not going to have that usage rate at the NBA. He can't create his own separation. He's not a great shooter. It's like people who said that THT is some great scorer. He scores very similarly to THT, meaning he scores because he's able to be a high usage player that he's not going to be that at the NBA level. He can't create the separation. He doesn't have the height to even get the jump shot off in the mid range. He's not refined. He has no back to the basket moves as far as post moves. He was able to thrive offensively in college because he was bigger and stronger than most of those guys. He's going to be facing off against people who are longer and stronger every single night. He's not going to be this offensive firepower, and he never was that in college. 16 points is some great score. What the fuck are y'all smoking? Like, real talk. Where in the world is 16 points a great score? I just really want to know where y'all get that at. This is what I mean. Process basketball. Go in and watch basketball objectively. Don't look at it via that you like a player or not. Go look at possessions. Go look at how he scores, not just what he scores. Don't just watch the box score. Watch how players do things. And that will tell you a lot of difference in that. He's not going to be a great scorer at the NBA level, not right away. He's just not going to be. And even if he does, it's going to take him long to have to adapt it. So, it is what it is there. It is what it is. You didn't show me a great article. You showed me a great article on why he was a decent scorer, not why he can be at the NBA. Again, I'm off the dumb shit. When CMB isn't some great score, make sure you come back here and say, I'm sorry, daddy. That's what I need you to say. I need you to be like Diddy and say, I'm sorry, daddy. That's what I need you to do. Make sure that you come back and do that. I'm done arguing with y'all about CMB because the proof is going to be in the pudding. Y'all really cap for bad players. THT, Chris Duarte, what the fuck be wrong with y'all? Y'all make moves worse than what anything AK has done and then be complaining about shit. Stupid. It's just stupid. It's just stupid. I hate being hopeful for this team. I just hope we draft a guy at 12 and Modest becomes a star. Let's hope so. Let's definitely hope so. And on top of that, sometimes scoring in college doesn't always translate to the NBA when it comes to CMB. And that's the point there. It's how he scored in college that's not going to be translatable to the NBA. But anyway, all right, y'all. That's it. Let me get back to my Father's Day. I got ribs on the grill. I love y'all. Make sure you guys are following us at Shy Bear Central. Whoa, wrong podcast. At Bull Central Pod. You send us any feedback, questions, comments, concerns. bullcentralpod@gmail.com. Lastly, if you want to leave a text message and or voicemail for the mailbag, the number to do so, 773-270-2799. I also dropped a video over on NBA Central talking about what this means for the Grizzlies and for the Orlando Magic. Love you guys. Go Bulls. Peace, y'all.
This has been a presentation of the Breaks Media.
Hold on, because now I got to cook. First off, you coming in here with your dumb ass, mealy mouth ass, mama boy's ass, talking about somebody called stupid. I called one person stupid, but now I'm calling you and your mama stupid for not swallowing your dumb ass when she had the opportunity to save us from your dumb ass thoughts. Don't come in here you must forgot what the fuck this is. This is Chicago Bulls Central, and I'm petty fucking Roosevelt, my nigga. Watch your fucking mouth coming in here because I will cook you, smash your mama, become your stepdaddy, and beat your ass all on the same day. So how about that, you stupid bitch ass motherfucker? If you got something else to say, come and say it. Otherwise, shut the fuck up, bitch. All right, y'all. I'm out now.
This has been a presentation of the Breaks Media.